Hi everyone, my name is Henry Truehart, and I am an up-and-coming author in the world of sci-fi and fantasy. If you're watching this after October 25th, 2024, then my debut novel, Project Impossible, is out and ready for purchase. There will be a link in the description for it. This book holds a special place in my heart, and today I'm excited to give you some background about why and how it exists. This is, well, my copy of Project Impossible Volume 1. It says, not for resale because, I mean, that's, it's like I'm recording this before the release, so it's like, it's my special copy, so, yeah. This is Volume 1. Here's Volume 2. And this is the complete edition, which includes both Volume 1 and Volume 2. Just back to back. When I started writing, I used it to get through some very dark times in my life. I was a victim of bullying in school, and with those experiences came thoughts of ending my life. Writing gave me a voice when I was voiceless and helped me find a way through the pain. This novel is my way of shining a light on those battles, giving voice to the struggles so many face in silence. Through this book, I'm hoping to spread awareness, break the stigma surrounding these issues, and let anyone in that dark place know they are not alone. In just a moment, I'll be reading the preface of Project Impossible Volume 1, which dives into how the book came to be. But before I do, let me tell you what you can expect from this world I've created. At its core, Project Impossible is a story about overcoming darkness, both within and around us. It follows a character who's haunted by his past, while navigating a world that's full of chaos and uncertainty. There are so many stories that inspired Project Impossible, but most of all, it's inspired by real life, by the things we go through every day. And now, let me share the beginning of that journey with you. Project Impossible Volume 1, Henry Truehart. If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it. Stan Lee. Preface. Hello, reader, or in this case, viewer. My name is Henry Truehart, and I'm the author of Project Impossible. Before this book begins, I'd like to explain its vast history, why I started writing in the first place, and how it has affected me over the years. There isn't really a way to sugarcoat what I've been through. Throughout elementary school and junior high, I was bullied severely to the point of almost ending my life. When I first started writing, I used my fictional stories to escape, to drown out the sounds of constant harassment and judgment. For a while, I just wrote whatever story I could come up with. It wasn't until October of 2016 that I crafted the first iteration of Project Impossible. At the time, I was going through some very difficult things no child should have to suffer through. In class, whenever the teacher wasn't looking, students threw objects at me. Food, used tissues, pencils, you name it. I was teased, tripped on purpose, laughed at, and verbally abused. Some students spread rumors about me, while others decided to steal my things and hide them. I've been a storyteller for as long as I can remember. But until my second month of 7th grade, I'd never created any stories that captured my interest enough to continue it. When I found that passion, writing became a significant part of my day-to-day life. Having my very own fictional world, somewhere to escape to, made it easier to drown out the harsh words spoken about me. For several years now, I've used writing to cope, not just with bullying, but with everyday stressors. Sometimes I look back at how far the story has come, and my jaw just drops in disbelief. I couldn't be prouder of what I've made. I never really knew the depths of my imagination until I started putting pen to paper. Writing eventually turned into a form of stress management that I used throughout all of high school. I always used it whenever I was worried about an assignment or deadline, and it helped. Years after the harassment stopped, one of the meanest ex-bullies told me it had been just a silly game all along. It never felt like a game. It had felt like I was being torn apart with nowhere to run. It felt like no one loved me or even cared to be my friend. I felt invisible all those years, like my presence on Earth had no purpose. These feelings of loneliness and worthlessness are explored thoroughly in this book. Like me, Project Impossible's protagonist, Henry, was a victim of severe bullying. When I first created him, he was a complete self-insert. But he's changed a lot over the years, and in this book, he and I are vastly different. Funnily enough, I relate more to the villain than I do Henry. By the time I was the protagonist's age, I had already finished my recovery from getting bullied, whereas he is still deeply scarred by what he went through. Through him, the book explores not only the immediate effects of bullying, but also its long-term effects on the psyche and the path toward finding new meaning in life. A majority of my characters reflect a piece of something I have been through. Whether it's struggles with body image or severe symptoms of depression, there's no shortage of personal struggles in these characters. Project Impossible tackles a wide variety of sensitive and stigmatized topics. These topics include mental illness, self-image, homophobia, bullying, and child abuse. While I haven't personally experienced child abuse or homophobia, close friends of mine have, and their stories have inspired me. My goal is to tell a story that can not only resonate with them, but with anyone who has faced those things in their lives. I have struggled with ADHD my entire life. That's why I'm struggling with the video right now. I'm doing improv right now. This is going totally off script. I'm struggling with this video because I've always struggled with following scripts and remembering lines and stuff. And now I lost my place. As I was saying, yeah, there's going to be a whole blooper reel. Just that. This is why you should subscribe. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have struggled with ADHD my entire life. It makes it difficult for me to engage with books that don't immediately capture my interest. I've become more tolerant of reading over the years, but it's still a challenge. My recent reading has included a lot of movie novelizations and comic books. I also recently started the Harry Potter series, which I am enjoying a lot. I'm on Prisoner of Azkaban right now. In writing Project Impossible, my goal was to create a novel that holds the distinct nature of a comic book. The story is told in a distinctive style that I've honed over time. This includes the use of onomatopoeia. Think bang and whoosh, reminiscent of classic comic books. It's these elements that I believe make Project Impossible stand out as a unique and special read. I want to wrap this preface up by sharing something about myself. I've always been captivated by stories where the villain comes out on top, like in Avengers Infinity War, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, and ABC's Once Upon a Time. There's something really intriguing about watching the villains win. But back in 2016, I faced real-life villains who were far more frightening than Thanos or Darth Vader. My villains nearly overpowered me, pushing me to the brink of ending everything. Gradually, writing evolved from a simple hobby to a passion and, quite literally, a lifeline. I don't know where I would be today without this story. As you turn these pages, I want you to remember that every story has its share of darkness, but the final chapter is yours to write. My advice is simple. Don't let the villains of your story win. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the story. Henry Truehart. If you'd like to experience the full story, the audiobook is on its way soon. It's going to be released episodically. I don't know if that's a word, but it's going to be, this wasn't in the script I wrote for some reason. This wasn't in the script. I'm going to release it by chapter. So one episode is going to be the prologue. The next episode will be chapter 1. Next episode, chapter 2, and so on. Well, that's about it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, do whatever you can if you believe in what I've said. Anything helps, really. Like, leave a comment. I love reading comments. I will respond to everyone. And I really hope you guys enjoy the story with me. Also, please grab a copy of Project Impossible if you can, so you can read along with me as the audiobook releases. I think that could be a really interesting viewer-creator dynamic, I guess. Again, going off script, but thanks for watching, and a welcome to Project Impossible. Guard patrols on the perimeter of the military base let out unified screams of alarm. They scattered in a desperate panic as Darnell... Well, what? What? Were you expecting some kind of cameo?